They're edgy, rebellious, and popular. Ice Peak is on stage in Ryazan for the final concert of their Russia tour. The song Sad Bitch is clearly an audience favorite here. It's an anthem against authority, elitism, and conformism. Songs like this one have made the authorities in Russia suspicious of Ice Peak. The band say they shut down more than half of their concerts on their recent Russia tour. The musicians were searched and questioned several times.
It felt completely surreal. We sing a few songs, and the secret services chase us through the whole city. Yes, some of our songs do have a political message, but the political stuff is such a small percentage of our work. So you think to yourself, what would happen if we were actually a political group? They wouldn't let us perform at all.
I pour kerosene into my eyes. The whole of Russia is watching me. Let it all burn. Lyrics and videos like this one are intentionally provocative. Here the duo poses in front of the seat of the Russian government and on the shoulders of the riot police. Ice Peak isn't the only young group that has had problems with the authorities. Last year, over 40 concerts were cancelled. It's a crackdown that has shaken the Russian music scene, but also created a huge sense of solidarity. At the end of 2018, dozens of musicians took to the stage in Moscow to protest against the tough stance of the Kremlin.
If these absurd things can happen to other musicians, they can easily happen to any of us. Lately, there seems to be an unspoken rule for musicians. If you so much as touch on politics, you'll have problems.
This situation would make any musician want to write about it. It politicizes people who otherwise wouldn't be interested in political protest at all.
Vladimir Putin seems to have understood that as well and has signaled a change in the Kremlin's strategy. The Russian president wants his administration to come up with new plans to support youth culture by September.
Rap and other modern music is based on 3 pillars: sex, drugs, and protest. The drugs are our biggest concern, of course. They clearly lead to a degradation of the entire society. If this music is impossible to stop, then we will have to lead and direct it properly.
However Putin tries to lead and direct, observers say the Kremlin will do all in its power to ensure the discontent doesn't turn into a protest movement.
What we've seen so far is an attempt by the Kremlin to label anything they don't understand as non-existent, useless, and wrong. But now the main thing for them is to re-establish communication with young people to understand what they want and how to deal with that.
In Ryazan, the problems the group had with the police has led some parents to accompany their kids to the concert. Most of the fans here say they identify with Ice Peak's lyrics. They're often about a sense of hopelessness.
I can really relate to this music. I think it reflects my reality here. I know exactly what they mean. The fact that the government is cracking down on this group doesn't solve the problems they're singing about. It could lead to protests.
The band can clearly relate to the worries and realities of their young fans. Many of them say they don't feel the Kremlin understands them anymore at all.
The government has decided to correct youth culture, to somehow bend it back into its old shape. But the process can't be stopped anymore. And we certainly won't censor ourselves.
Now we want to be even harsher, more radical and interesting.
You can't ban music, the fans chant in between songs at the concert. Ice Peak's dark and sarcastic music has clearly touched a nerve with young Russians, and their difficulties with the authorities have gotten them a lot of publicity. Instead of silencing them, it has made them one of the voices of a new generation the Kremlin is now pushing to connect with.